Hello, this is Anna Imagination with Shifting Perspectives from the Healing Garden. Today, I'm going to talk about love, relationships, and romance. I am a Taurus. I love romance. Last night, I was playing my Sims game, and I built this beautiful home on a private island on a beach. And I filled it with this massive garden, hollyhocks, delphinium, grass not grass, shrubs, roses. It was very beautiful. When I was done with it, I looked at it. I had a hot tub, I had a yoga mat, I had this beautiful little water fountain onto the side and some statues. The first word that came to my mind was romantic, very romantic. It is a very difficult word. It's one that has perplexed me for years. We're going to talk about romantic a lot. I stared at that, and it was interesting because there was no love. Oh, yes, there was. There was a lot of self-love, but there was no romantic love. And at one point, I was just sitting on my gorgeous little pink cushion, my sim was, meditating in this beautiful garden. And I said, wow, that's really romantic. The word is elegant beauty. We're going to come back to that. Now, my avatar has no partner. In fact, I have the lifestyle trait, single and loving it, which is me right now, single and loving it. So there's no romantic partner, there's no love, there's no relationships. It's just her and her cat. I bought a dog last night in the game. I had it for maybe 4 hours. I cleaned up its poop and its pee off of my floor twice and said, no dogs. No. It did not fit my energy. And I realized I may never own my own dog at that point. The Sims is a fantastic simulation game. It is referred to as Sims 4. This is the version I am playing. I have played all the versions except Sims 2 because Sims 2 is creepy. But I played Sims Roller Coaster, Sims Golf, Sims Medieval, Sims 1, Sims 3, Sims 4. I play Sims. I am referred to as a simmer. And when the game was first made in 1999, it was actually called The Living Dollhouse. It is literally a virtual dollhouse where you get to play and move the dolls. So that's what I do. I play with my dolls. And you can create your dolls into whatever you want. It was wonderful. It's a really great game to define your identity. In fact, I have it as an assignment in my self-care regimen that if you have access to the game Sims 4 or any Sims game, play it because you find out who you are when you play Sims. You learn what you are. It's a great identifier. It is a phenomenal identifier, creepily so. So I had this character and I had this atmosphere with her where it was just very romantic. And it's not the first time I have found myself in a romantic situation without there actually being relationships, another man, or love. It's just me alone with beauty. Our culture, however, has a different definition for romance. Now, the first half of my life when I was assimilated, I'm going to call it from now on. See previous video. In my previous life when I was assimilated, God, that feels so good to say. Like I found a truth. I found its name and I can define it now. God, I love names and definition and calling it what it is. Okay. Back when I was assimilated, I was under the impression, as most people, that romance meant romantic love with heterosexual romantic love. That is exactly what I was raised to think it was. Heterosexual romantic love. And when I left the Matrix, I'm really going to just enjoy these terms for a few days, for the next week. So as I say the terms, I'm going to go off on massive tangents. So please bear with me. Please be patient, because I just opened a whole new vocabulary that I can now use to communicate, and I can finally say what I need to say. Once I realized I was assimilated and I left the Matrix, I had to redefine everything. And one of the things that I redefined was love, relationships, and romantic love, romance. I realized that while I was assimilated, I insisted on putting men into my romance. And I noticed something. I'm a Taurus. Every time I put a man in my romance, they fucked it up. Every time. I would put together this beautiful dinner, and then I would insert a man, and he'd fuck it up. Suddenly it wasn't romantic. I mean, literally. Now, the man didn't do anything. The man was not offensive. He wasn't uncouth. He ruined it because he was present. Now, I am still trying to figure out if I'm a lesbian or if I'm bisexual. So this might be part of it. I don't know. This is why I have not talked about sexuality at all in the Healing Garden, is because I am currently trying to figure out what my sexuality is. And I have to redefine it, because my current definition is based off of the patriarchy and the Matrix, which is bullshit. But now that I'm out of the Matrix, my sexuality went, well, what the fuck is this thing? And I went, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this out. So I'm going to talk about sex later this week in this course. I don't know if it's a course. It's a tangent, something. But I'm going to just set this aside for now. I don't know. I do know that all the terminology that we all throw around in our society is designed to communicate the Matrix bullshit. And because I'm no longer part of that system, all the terminology is now obsolete for me. So I'm not talking about sex. I am referring to, there's a man in my romance. I don't like people in my romance. This isn't about men or women. I don't like people in my romance. Every time I put a person in my romance, it fucks it up. Me going to a nice dinner, a restaurant, alone with a glass of wine and a gorgeous dinner. I told you I'm a Taurus. And me eating alone while listening to classical music, and it's just me and dinner. Now that's romantic. That is absolutely me at my height of romance. Me curled up with a book, classical music playing in my ears, while I'm sitting there laid back knitting, listening to my audiobook while I'm listening to classical music. That's romantic for me. And there were moments where I definitely had romantic moments with my former partner, with my partner. No, we're in a weird place. Like I said, I crossed out of the Matrix and he's still in the Matrix. Oh, I can communicate that to you now. Look at that. Once you find the terminology. So I left the Matrix and my partner is still in the Matrix. That's what happened. So it's really hard to determine if he's going to come out or not. Now, he will. He's absolutely not meant to be in the Matrix. In fact, he's the one who was outside and he said, look, I don't live in the Matrix. And I I want to be there. And then he pulled me out and then I got there and then he stepped back in. I sent him an email 2 days ago and said, you're in the Matrix, get out. Literally. Yeah, that's my love letters. You're in the Matrix, get out. He'll come out, but I have to wait. And while he's in the Matrix, he suffers. I'm going to be talking a lot about him during these sessions because he is the other half of all of this. He is the other half of the healing garden. He is the co-owner. He is the missing piece to this, the yin to my yang. Romance. I Googled it when I was a child. Google. Ha 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 ha. No, I didn't. I pulled up my book called an encyclopedia set, and I opened my archaic book with paper, and I looked up the word romance, and all it could tell me was of or relating to Rome. So romance means of or relating to Rome. Really not helpful. Really, I have pulled this definition apart, and the etymology, it's such it has been a 40-year long endeavor for me. What is romance? And as a Taurus, this is important to me. If you do not follow astrology, let me enlighten you. Astrology, according to astrology, the most romantic of all signs is the Taurus. The most, when it comes to enjoying a fine glass of wine in front of a fireplace while listening to that classical music or jazz, yeah, that's Taurus all over it. And I'm not just a Taurus, I'm a 3 Taurus. I'm a May Taurus, which is the most Taurusy of all Tauruses. That's right. I just said Tauruses. I just said Taurusy of all Tauruses. This is my realm. This is my realm. We are the epitome of enjoying comfort, cozy, sensual. Romantic is sensual. So it's really important that I figure this shit out. My first thought, thank you, patriarchy, is I couldn't have this without a man. Now that's brainwashing. It took me a very long time. In fact, in the last year alone, I learned this. I mean, 6 months ago, I finally realized this. When my partner, when I crossed out of the matrix and he stayed behind, I thought, well, now what do? I need romance. I do. I need romance. I have to have romance for my mental health. When I tell you that I don't work on Wednesdays or Saturdays because I have to go to the ethereal realm, I'm also being romantic on those 2 days. I mean, bubble bath, Enya, candles, a glass of white wine while I read a book. Oh yeah, Taurus has this figured out. And somewhere along the way, I know where, I know how, I know when, the patriarchy decided to take this thing that we required and merge it with romance and heterosexuality and sex and love. Well, basically because it wanted to cripple us. It was part of their conditioning process. Now, once I got out of the matrix, and I realized that this is part of their brainwashing bullshit, I realized that, I don't need a man after all to do all of the romantic things. I really needed romance, like my mental health was suffering. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go. And I had heard about this being done where people just go take themselves out for dates. So I did it several times. And I realized that it was the only time I truly, deeply enjoyed romance, with a couple exceptions with my partner. That's it, really. That was it, really, right there. A few times he set it up, and he swept me off my feet with it. Romance is simple. It is the celebration of self-love and the beauty of self-love. That is what I realized romance is. It is a celebration of self-love. So that when a system tells you you're not allowed to have the identity, but you need this self-love thing, you need romance, they plug it in with other things so you don't notice, supposedly, that it's missing. So there's a lot of people who seek romance thinking it's a man, a woman sharing a glass of wine over a nice romantic dinner and candlelight. No, it's not. It is a celebration of the self. That is romance. That is absolutely romance. I romance myself literally every day. And on Wednesdays and Sundays, I go all out. I have to. I have to indulge in beauty and self love. I have to. It is just an indulgence, a celebration of beauty and self love. Now, you can share this with a partner so long as it's not about the two of you. The minute you make it about the two of you, you fuck it up, which is why I kept fucking it up. You are not going to like what I have to say. For every one of you who obsesses about your partner, you're not going to like this. Which is another reason why I put off talking about it, is because I have people who are like, oh, talk to me about romance. Tell me about romance. Tell me about relationships. You don't want to hear what I have to say because you're not going to like it. 99% of the people who are in the matrix are not in love. They are brainwashed and are using their partner as a crutch. You're not going to like this episode. You are not going to like to hear anything I have to say about the patriarchy and its affiliation with love, because it uses love and romance and relationships to keep you enslaved. The Matrix, their primary weapon is love, romance, and relationships. And that's why everyone is so obsessed with it. That's why our culture is so obsessed with it. The real thing is self-love. Self-love is breathtaking. Self-love is one of the self-doubt. I can't even say it. I'm just so like, oh my God, I'm so enamored. Narcissist. The web that has been woven. In my world, Narcissus, the mythical character, is to be revered. Narcissus gets it. Narcissus understands it and does it right. We should all be like Narcissus. Now, if you actually study Narcissus, okay, let's see if I can say this word right. Narcissus. We all really need to be like Narcissus. But as part of their brainwashing garbage, they slandered Narcissus with the word narcissism. So we have a misnomer in our minds now that we plug in with Narcissus. Narcissus was healthy, beautiful, gorgeous story. We all need to be like that. But narcissism was used as a misnomer to slander the concept of self-love, so we would not pursue it. It's all part of the brainwashing. It was to really, really drive home that we should not love ourselves. And that's the problem. Romance has nothing to do with anything except self-love. One of the things I have said to my partner is, I want to celebrate self-love with you so that he has self-love and I have self-love. And then we do the thing that we love together in celebration of our own self-love. That is our world. I love salsa dancing and he loves salsa dancing. But I don't want to celebrate romantic love. I want to celebrate self-love. And he loves to celebrate self-love. He taught me self-love. And when we did that, when you put them together, we are both celebrating self-love, but together side by side. Now this is interdependence. Interdependence is a beautiful concept. that a lot of people don't get. In fact, most of you have never heard of interdependence. So, independence is actually when you are too independent and you are too solo, and now you have trust issues. Dependence is when you have self-trust issues. Deep independence is when you have too much self-trust issues. Like you totally trust yourself, but you trust no others. The beautiful fine balance is where, and codependence is when you don't trust anybody else, so you plug in somebody else to you so you feel whole. So yeah, this is about interdependence, independence, codependence, and dependency. This is what we're talking about. In order to get an understanding of this whole spectrum of dependence and independence, you need to understand your relation to love. But you have self-love and you have romantic love. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky. When you choose a partner, if you are functioning at optimum mental health, the reason why you choose your partner is for purely selfish reasons. I don't like to use the word selfish because it's a bullshit fictitious word that was made up in 1628. So let's not use the word selfish. Narcissus. Let's use the word narcissus. Self-love is a very beautiful thing. And when you choose a partner, you are actually tapping into narcissus. Narcissus love, self-love. You've heard the term opposites attract, and it's bullshit. When opposites attract, that's toxic love. That's actually a crutch. It's not love at all, and I refuse to call it love any longer. It is a crutch. It is dependency. You choose a partner for two reasons: to celebrate the self, or because you pine for the self. I'm going to say that again. You choose a partner for one of two reasons. You are either celebrating the self or you are pining for the self. If you are choosing a partner because you are pining for the self, you are going to choose somebody who you wish you could be. You are choosing someone so you can live vicariously through them. You choose somebody who has the family you wish you had. You choose somebody who has the career you wish you had. You choose somebody who has the life you wish you could have. But instead of pursuing that in yourself, because you've rejected yourself so much, you instead pursue somebody who is your dream version of you. So you either pick a partner who you are the person I wish I could be, or you are choosing somebody because you want to celebrate who you are. In one case, in the first example, you are choosing someone who is a polar opposite of you because they are a crutch and you are seeking to live vicariously through them. And you see the dream version of yourself that you wish you could be in them. So instead of pursuing your own life, which is completely opposite from what you actually want, you choose someone completely opposite of you, your partner, who you wish you could be. While you are living A, they are B, the life you wish you had. And that's when opposites attract. That is called a crutch. That is pining love. The flip side of all of that, you know who you are. You love who you are. You know what you love about yourself. And when you pursue a partner, you want to make sure that they love the same things you love so you can celebrate the self together in interdependence. That's healthy love. That is true love. So opposites attract? No, they don't. People live vicariously through other people and have rejected themselves so much and hate themselves so much, they pursue someone they wish they could be. That's love in the patriarchy. That's what love looks like in the Matrix. Because in the Matrix, self-love has been completely removed and thrown away. That's why everybody in the Matrix hates themselves, which is why there's so much anger and violence and aggression and loathing in the Matrix. That's why so many people are hurt and lost in the Matrix. That's why the Matrix is all fucked up. Is because the system has been designed to remove self-love. After it removes self-love, God, Ayn Rand was so right. She's a gorgeous woman. Her brain. Ayn Rand was the woman who stepped forward and called bullshit on government and society and said, you're all fucktards, you're living in the Matrix. I'm not supposed to say that word anymore. And my entire system just raged. Interesting. That you're all idiots and you're all living in the Matrix. She was the first one to step forward and say all that in the 1950s. And then she wrote a lot of books about it. And then she gave us Atlas Shrugged to emanate, hey, guys, you're living in the Matrix. Stop it. Self-love is everything. Ego matters, read Anthem. It matters. Ego matters. But our government has slandered self-love and ego and has completely removed it because you're supposed to live for the government. The difference between communist Russia and communist China and the United States is the United States hides its communism, but they're the same damn thing. They are the same damn fucking thing. Absolutely. And that's something we don't talk about. That's something that we're not aware of because you have been assimilated and you live in the Matrix. So self-love is completely conditioned out of you from birth. So that by the time you're 15 to 20 and you start thinking about romance and love, you are actually looking for all the pieces of you that are missing. My son is there now. I'm watching him pursue life with this mission. And it's like, dude, focus on yourself, focus on yourself, focus on yourself, focus on yourself, get yourself back. Now, my 15-year-old daughter, she's got her self-love. She's all about self-love. She is a beautiful narcissist. Like, yes, you get it. She's also a Virgo, so this came very easily to her. Virgos are the conglomerate of self-love. Narcissus himself was a Virgo, I am convinced. Yes. Because, and they have it figured out. They have it figured out. I read a meme yesterday, that warmed my heart. It said, some of us come into our lives to teach us self-love, but we go to them to show them true love. This is absolutely my partner and I. He has never seen true love. And before him, I have never seen self-love. He gave me self-love. He taught it to me. When he and I first met, he was adamant, under no circumstances do you put me before you. You put yourself first, and I'm going to put me first. And I said, absolutely. Agreed. Doing it was a different matter. He taught me how to love myself. And he gave me the space that allowed me to put myself first. And he set the example to show me how it was done. So yeah, I'm very protective of him. When people tell me I need to dump him, I'm like, we're going to talk about dumping people. Now, I believe in something called nakama. And every American in the world just went, what? I watch anime. Japan is amazing. Japan has words for things that do not exist in the English language. Like, I don't know the word for it in Japan. But okay, you see the light right there? How the the beauty of the light streaks the screen? That is actually referred to something in Japan. They have a word for that. It is when the natural light filters in through the trees. They actually have a word for this. Walking through nature and absorbing the energy of nature is called a nature bath, but they have an actual word for it in the Japanese language. There is an art form, but it's not really an art form, and this is where Americans fuck this up. In Japan, if you break a pot, you don't just throw it away. You take gold and you mend the broken pot with gold. And it creates this beautiful gold marbling all over this pot. So you can reuse it. Now, Americans think that this art technique is called X. It's not an art technique. It is the concept that is the word, not the art technique. They have a word for the beauty of repairing what's been broken. Nakama is a Japanese word that has no translation in English. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about Monkey D. Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy is the main character in an anime called One Piece. I'm going to give 1 minute to every anime lover out there who just gushed when I said that. One Piece sold more copies than Harry Potter. Process that. Japan alone outsold Harry Potter in One Piece. Do you get how big One Piece is in Japan? The entire world purchased Harry Potter. Only Japan purchased One Piece, and they still outsold Harry Potter. That's how big One Piece is. It's like every person in Japan wrote One Piece. 20% of the population bought Harry Potter, but 100% of the population bought One Piece. It was one particular manga episode that released that it outsold Harry Potter. It's extraordinary. So as of right now, there's the Bible, and then there's Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, and then there's One Piece and Harry Potter. Those are the 4 big books in the world. Now that all the non-anime lovers are caught up, the main character is Monkey D. Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy is my dream husband. That's right. Monkey D. Luffy is absolutely what my personality was inspired by. But I didn't find Luffy until I was 30. So I was like 90% Monkey D. Luffy on my own. And then I met Luffy and I went, oh, he's just like me. Really, he's just like me. Right down to the pirate ship and the adventures, and I'm going to collect people. And I collect people, so does he. He's a Taurus too, by the way. That's right. That's right. It's funny, I was watching him the other day, and I was like, I didn't look up his birthday. It was just a hunch. I'm like, that man is a Taurus. And my daughter went, how do you know Luffy's a Taurus? Are you kidding? The way he eats, the way he sleeps, the way he goes on adventures, and the way he is obsessed with collecting people. I'm telling you, that man is a Taurus, and he's so magnetic. And I looked up his birthday, and yes, he's a Taurus. So if I were an anime character, I would be Luffy. Now, Luffy is the story. Well, I'm just going to summarize it. Imagine the Marvel Comics meets Pirates of the Caribbean. There you go. It's everybody in the Pirates of the Caribbean has a superpower. There. And there is a treasure that is hidden out there in this world, and Luffy is going to go get the treasure. So he's hunting for this massive treasure. The treasure is called One Piece. That is the treasure. So it's his hunt for this big pirate treasure. Oh yeah, it's great. Now, Luffy's crew. Luffy sets out to find his people. But when he finds his people, they're not just his crew, they are his nakama. Now, Luffy runs around screaming through the whole series, "You are my nakama." Now, in America, we have no idea what that is. So, after a while, fans started translating nakama. There's really no translation for it. Friend is wrong. That is not the right word. Family is here. Friend is here. Nakama is here. Heart family. That would be pretty close. Heart family. Chosen family. Bigger. Think bigger. We are talking pure trust, pure loyalty, pure trust and pure loyalty. There is no question. They call, you go. They're in trouble, you go. They need you, you fight. That's nakama. Friends come and go. Friends fade. Nakama don't. Family, you can hate your family. Chosen family, they can fade. Nakama do not come into your life for a short period of time. Nakama come into your life and they are there for life. Nakama are always nakama. It's like ohana, but bigger. It is a type of love. Pure, true love. It can be romantic. It doesn't have to be. It's bigger than romantic love. It is nakama. Juanito is my nakama. He is my nakama. It is the kind of love that you're not fucking around. Pure trust, pure love, no questions asked. It doesn't matter what happens. There is no fear in nakama. This kind of love is so foreign to Americans that we don't have a word for it in English. This kind of love is so foreign to Western culture that we don't even have a name for it because it doesn't exist in Western culture because we don't value love. What we do is throw love away every time it gets difficult. I sent my lover a letter 2 days ago, and I said to him, I have two ethics inside of me. My first ethic is you do not abandon nakama, and you are my nakama. My second ethic is under no circumstances do you allow something to hurt the self. But this situation, with him being in the matrix and me being out of it, is hurting me. And some days it's very hard for me. And I'm doing it alone because he's got to take care of himself in the matrix right now. And I've got a bunch of dumbass people telling me to abandon him. How dare you? He's my nakama. So I'm looking at him and I'm going, okay, it's just the way it is right now. It is just the way it is. And it doesn't matter if it's hard. But I have this conflict. And I was able to finally write this letter to him and explain to him that I have this conflict with my two ethics. And they are in cognitive dissonance. So that I'm with him and I'm solid. But what about myself? What about the pain that I'm enduring? And that day I sent him a letter, and it opened a third door called communication. I used my defense system to communicate to him that I have these two contradicting ethics and that leaving him is not an option and staying with him hurts me, but leaving him hurts me more. And what are we supposed to do? And I said to him, I need your help because I can't do this alone. That changed something. That changed something. And after he read that letter, the tension between us broke. It was like a bridge was formed between he and I. And it was suddenly a lot easier for him to get out of the matrix and come to me. So that's where I am now, is I am just waiting for him to come out of the matrix. And he will. And I don't know when. But I've opened the door. Now, according to Matrix love, crutches, the definition of love is completely different. The pursuit of love is completely different. The need for love is, I've thrown myself away so much that I'm in pain and I'm looking for someone to just fix my pain. I'm lost and I can't figure out who I am. So I'm looking for someone to leech to so I can start defining who I am because I've thrown away what I am. I feel empty and cold. Maybe a person will fix this. And our society conditions us to pursue other people to plug in where self-love was, without realizing that we seek narcissus. We are in the pursuit of Narcissus. Narcissus. Damn Greek. And we have not figured that out because the patriarchy and the system, the matrix, has us running the stupid rat race. And there's a million little things that the matriarchy says. The matrix says a million little things, statements that are used to just rotate shit over constantly. And now I'm seeing light workers step forward talking about twin flames. And then I have other people going, twin flames are just toxic love and it's bullshit. And everyone is speaking as an assimilated drone in the patriarchy. And they're all wrong. And they're not going to get this right until they leave the patriarchy, until they see what love really is. So I watch people dumping and throwing away people. I see other people who have been hurt saying, you love just yourself. And they take it to the extreme where they hate on men. And they are all pro-matriarchy. And then they blow up the women and they shrink the men. And I do not tolerate that garbage either. We are not going to figure out this balance until we abandon gender. In my world, I don't see man and women. I don't see feminine and masculine. I see nurturers and protectors. I am a protector. My partner is a nurturer. He is very much a nurturer. And I am a protector. And when we come together, it balances out beautifully. There is protector energy and nurturer energy. And they are genderless. You can have men who are both protectors and nurturers, and you can have women who are protectors and nurturers. And you can have any combination of those. They are inside of us. I have nurturer inside of me, but it's small, very small. I have 40% nurturer, 60% protector. And I'm learning how to balance that energy. Now, my partner is like 80% nurturer and 20% protector. Right now, he is forcing himself to take on the role of protector, and it's hurting him. So that letter included a whole, you talk to me about self-love, and I'm watching you hurt yourself. And you are the epitome of celebrating the self. You taught me this. What are you doing? Stop hurting yourself. And everyone else is so quick to go, dump him, get rid of him. What are you afraid of? Why are you so quick to throw people away? Who hurt you? That's what I'm going to say to the next person who tells me to dump him. I'm going to ask them who they are afraid of. Because that's why we break up with people. Now, if someone legitimately is toxic, get the fuck away from them. But here's the fun part. That man who I love has never been toxic to me. Never. So why would I dump him? Well, I wouldn't. But that's the go-to response from everybody who I talk to. Even people who volunteer information. It's because they are running away. Because they have a fear problem with trust. It is because they don't believe that it is safe enough to love. And they internalize that concept so strongly that their go-to response for advice is dump him. This is why I closed the noise out and told people to shut the fuck up. Is because I got a bunch of people talking from their subconscious minds and their own fear problems at me, and I got tired of it. It was just noise attacking my own point of view. So, romance is the celebration of self-love and beauty. And it has nothing to do with a partner. It has nothing to do with romance, romantic love. It is just self-love and beauty. A celebration of self-love and beauty. A celebration of beauty. That makes so much sense when you know the subconsciousness of Rome. They would be a people who celebrate beauty just for the sake of celebrating beauty. They really would. That makes so much sense. Rome had no problem with polyamory and bestiality. And the reason why is because for them, it was a celebration of beauty. Sex was a celebration of beauty. Now, they also didn't have a problem with a lack of consent. We're not going to talk about that. I don't condone Rome. I just explain it. So that being said, they would have a word that explains a celebration of beauty. And in point of fact, beauty is a huge topic in philosophy. What is beauty? Where does it come from? What does it mean? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We do not regurgitate propaganda here. We analyze concept and we come up with our own theory. I wanted to pose the question, what is beauty, the other day? And I thought, oh my God, like so many people are just going to be like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We don't regurgitate garbage. You think. What is beauty? What is beauty? Not who beholds it. What is it? Think. Define it. What is beauty? Is it a streak of light coming in through the window? Is it nature? Is it elegance and delicacy? You know, I think it is. And I think romance is the celebration of beauty. That is what I truly believe romance is. Which is why I could put my sim in the middle of a garden on a little digital cushion and have her meditate and think, wow, that is so romantic. Would I like to be intimate with somebody to share that romance with? The problem is, as soon as you do that, it turns phony because you've missed the point. You've missed the point. You have taken something that celebrates beauty and the self, and you've turned it into romantic love, which has nothing to do with it. You've missed the point. Which is why every time I sat down and tried to share it with a partner, almost every time, instead of getting romance, I got phony and fake. And they ruined it because the focus got shifted from self-love and the celebration of beauty over to romantic love. Which is why it's really important to find a partner who absolutely matches you. I'm going to use Juanito as an example because he fits this so beautifully. I love white wine. I love wine. My God, do I love wine. And I love bubble baths because I'm a Taurus. I love bubble baths. Okay, no, I'm a mermaid. That's why I love baths. But don't lie. I love baths because I'm a mermaid. I take a bath every day. Sometimes I take 2 baths every day because I need water. And I love bubbles and aromatherapy because I'm a Taurus. That's the Taurus. So to combine these elements, now I am just relishing in love. I am relishing in self-love. Now Juanito loves company. He loves intimacy. And he loves wine. And he loves being warm. So yeah. Now, if we were opposites, we wouldn't be able to share something like that. But when you're forced to share something like that, the phoniness is well, this is my frequency, but this isn't your frequency. What are you doing here? And that's what I ran into with my ex-husbands. I would set up a situation that was my frequency, and then they would step into it, and I'm going, you don't fit this frequency. They didn't fit my frequency. But if you don't know your frequency, you're not going to be able to match up properly. You have to know your frequency so you get resonance. You want to resonate with someone. And I mean so deep that there is no doubt. You want to find somebody who resonates with you. But in order to do that, you have to find your frequency. You really have to take time out to find your frequency. And that's just it. Once you find your frequency, finding a partner to fit that frequency is easy peasy. Because then you can just manifest that shit. But you can't manifest that shit unless you know your own damn frequency. But if you don't know your frequency, well, then what the fuck are you doing playing with an energy pool? I know a lot of people who have not defined their frequency, but boy, are they trying to pull at threads. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't have both. You cannot live in the matrix and manifest. You can't live in the matrix and manifest because the matrix deliberately misaligns you with your frequency. You want to manifest? You're going to have to come out of the matrix. You're going to have to come out of the matrix. You cannot have it any other way. You want to be a light worker? Step out of the matrix. There's nothing I hate more than a supernatural or a witch or a matrix. I'm sorry, a supernatural, a witch, or someone who is so head deep into the matriarch, or into the patriarchy. And they sit there and they say to me, I'm trying to manifest and I've been playing around with the energies, but I have all this subconscious mental illness still. What are you doing? What are you doing? Fix your shit. Get out of the matrix. Then you get to play with the witches and the supernaturals. Mental illness is when you're misaligned because you're in someone else's frequency. That's it. That's it. You have a mental illness because you are stepped into someone else's frequency. So if you have a mental illness, you're still misaligned. You need to get aligned. You need to define the self and restore the self. How different do I have to clarify this? Maybe I should just do videos based off of, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut it right down to the no bullshit. Let's get right down to it. Let's cut all the bullshit out. This is about the matrix. This is about your frequency. And this is about you taking care of your frequency by renewing your self-identity, because your self-identity is linked to the energy pool. And that's where love is. That is love. Self-love is all you need. When you finally get to that point and then you seek out a partner, you're not seeking out a partner to fill you. You're not looking for someone to complete you. You are complete. You are looking for a partner to celebrate who you are. That's all. You are just looking for a partner because you want a party. That's it. So if you're not ready to party in celebration of yourself, you have no fucking business being in a relationship, because you've missed the point. Like I said, people aren't going to like these videos. I'm going to spend a lot of time saying you need to break up, you need to define the self, and then you need to start over. I'm going to be spending a lot of time telling people stop fucking around with love, romance, relationships, and spend some time with yourself. Clear out all your mental garbage. Get out of the matrix. Figure out your frequency and your self-love. Then you can go pull at a partner. If you haven't done the mental work, you have no fucking business touching a partner, because the partner is designed to mirror you, and a proper partner will mirror you. And if you don't like you, you're going to throw the partner away. You're going to deliberately sabotage it, which is what a lot of you do. You sabotage your own relationship because your subconscious mind knows that's not part of your frequency. But hey, you keep looking for love. Priority. The real enemy is the system, and you're a simulation. That's really what you're up against, because you're in a matrix. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Shifting Perspectives with Anna Imagination. Subscribe and join my newsletter. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I do these randomly all the time, consistently, almost daily, and except for the weeks that I have class. And join my Facebook group. That's where I process and provide the triadic healing for people who are looking to raise their conscious awareness. And it is where I am offering people the ability to nurture and identify their identity so they can define themselves and get their frequency back. Thank you so much for joining me, and may the kindest of words always find you.